Hi everyone. I have been called to do a special video today, something that I've not done before. You guys have seen me do some channeling videos and messages, more from the divine masculine to the divine feminine. But what I'm being called to do today is channel a message from the divine, from the ascended masters to the divine feminine collective. As you can probably see from my appearance on this video, this week has been absolutely exhausting energetically. The Schumann waves are spiking. There's just a lot of stuff going on as we're integrating the energy from the Lion's Gate, the 8-8 Lion's Gate portal. That's still going on. I believe we had another planet go retrograde. I think Chiron is doing something tonight. I don't know. There's just a lot going on still, even though Mercury is now direct. And most profoundly, I'm finding on my own journey and seeing this across the collective that as our light, as the divine feminine, the way shower for this journey, the manifester for the masculine, for the union, as our light rises, the darkness is rising as well. I have had, many of you know, that I live in Dayton, where the mass shooting took place in the Oregon district. But what a lot of you don't know is that the shooter's accomplice, the guy who purchased the body armor and parts of the weapons that were used in the shooting, and he actually, he helped obtain those items. He helped put together everything, and the weapon was stored in his apartment, which is in my building, and it's not a big complex. It's 4 units. So that came to light this week. So literally, like, as I'm here working on my spiritual gifts and raising my vibration, this darkness is literally across the hall from me. That happened, and I feel like all this confusion that has been put into me on this journey these past few months, especially since spring, a lot of it's my own frustration and ego that fed this. But there's just a lot going on, that there's a lot of darkness and things that are coming in that are trying to block, number one, the rise of the divine feminine, but the corresponding alchemical unions that we're trying to manifest. So as you know, it's only logical, because of everything being an energetic flux and balance, that as the light rises, so does the darkness. And I said this, I think, on my last video, that it comes in ways that aren't always obvious. It's one thing, several months ago, if I am having a dream, an astral, a very real dream where I'm threatened by a demon. Okay, that's one thing, because I know they can't hurt you. But it's another thing when this energy, these entities, or whatever it is, attaches onto someone who's a friend of yours, people who care about you, and they're trying to dissuade you from your path. And they're trying to tell you, no, this person is not your path. This person isn't what you're supposed to. They're never going to wake up. They're never going to do this and this and this and this. You need to date this person. You need to go to this person. And then even that person starts coming towards you, and you start getting drawn to them. And then you just completely are just like, yeah, I'm not done with this. I'm a twin flame. I might, whatever, but no, I'm just, and then your ego just gets fed by it, and you just feed into that, and you get off path. Because if you think about, at least in my case, where I was maybe a year ago, I was definitely too attached to an outcome with a particular person. So in some regard, it's been a good thing. And I think it is a good thing for divine feminines to detach from an outcome with a specific person. But there's a fine line between doing that and completely giving up, and saying that you're done with this journey, and wanting to be done with this journey, and wanting to give up. Because when you give up, when you signed up for this mission, if you give up, they win. And that's what they're trying to get us to do right now, is to get to a point where we're giving up. And so I've had so many realizations these past few weeks about the confusion and the chaos. And again, a lot of it I was creating with my own frustrations, but it's coming in different forms. And the stronger the light gets, the stronger the darkness is going to get. And they know that you're not going to be scared by something that's maybe happening in a dream, by something. Again, it's going to, if something's presented to you as, you know, in your weaknesses, right? A gorgeous man that seems to have it all together, and, you know, you have mutual friends and there seems to be this attraction. Of course that's going to draw you off path. Why wouldn't it? It's not like it's some guy coming in that you don't even want to be with saying, oh, that's not your twin, I don't, you know, blah blah blah. Well, that's not gonna, like, whatever, I'm not gonna listen to you. But a guy who you do have some, you know, develop a friendship with, a guy who you spent time with, you know, there's discernment that takes place. And I've kind of had to realize, as I was trying to pursue other avenues and then I kept getting blocked from it, it kind of thought, you know, and I think back to all the things that have happened to me on this journey, there's only one answer. And it is to go within and keep working on myself, because I was seeing progress in the 3D when I was doing that. And then when it didn't go the way I wanted, I should have stayed on path and kept just doing what I was doing. And instead, I just got frustrated and I let the darkness take me off the path. So I've been called to do a channeled message using the Mermaid Tarot. I've done something that I've never done before. I've invoked Isis. I've invoked a goddess. Never done that in my life. I'm wearing an ankh. Today I was drawn to wear that before the video. I'm also wearing black tourmaline. I'm going to have that on me always now. And then this gorgeous divine feminine pendant that one of my friends made. Yeah, I need to actually post on my page about this, because it's absolutely stunning. It looks like a crown if you can see it. But so when I invoked Isis, I immediately felt like this, like, whoop, this jolt, and kind of like my heart opened, and I kind of have this energy kind of flowing through me. So we're going to see what Isis and the goddess, she's the goddess of the divine feminine, what message they have for the divine feminines right now about this journey, about people trying to draw us off path. What kind of things are coming through right now that we need to be aware of as divine feminines? Okay, here we go. So you guys know when I channel, I don't do a spread. I kind of just flip through the cards and tell a story. So we're just going to see until it feels right, until I'm guided to stop. I'm just going to keep going. Okay, so yeah. So there are people coming at us as divine feminines, because this is a path that is not, it's not necessarily, not all these people are fed by the darkness, okay? But our own fears feed into this. And so we have people coming at us and saying, you know, what are you doing? Why do you keep pursuing this? You're like this, you know, you don't belong here, right? This doesn't make sense. You're following this path. You know, you're this beautiful woman at the height of her passion and her vibrancy, and you've been putting your life on hold for one person who doesn't have any interest in you. They're just not that into you. Why are you doing this? And that's then in turn your fears and insecurities, you're letting that feed it, and then you're getting defensive, and you're kind of feeling scared and feeling like, well, maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. But what you need to realize, divine feminine, is that you are the manifester of this connection, of anything in your reality that you could possibly want or imagine. You are the queen. You are the divine feminine. You have the world at your fingertips. This is you. This is not you. You cannot let these people who don't understand this journey try to take you down from your throne. We're here to bust paradigms. And this journey is not for the faint of heart. It's not for the faint of heart. It's difficult because you know your truth, Page of Swords, and you've tried to stand in your truth. You've tried to stand in your truth and speak your truth. But again, these people don't understand. It's like kind of feel cold and alone at times. You feel like you have no one who understands this journey, who understands that the things that you're doing now, you're planting the seeds, you're manifesting, you're looking off into the distance because you're not willing to settle. You'd rather be alone in your divinity. You'd rather be alone than to settle for something that's not the truth. So many of us, we know this deep down. We know what our destiny is. We know our power. But we get tired. We get tired. We have been on this journey for years, carrying the burden of being the awakened one. It's a blessing and a curse that the feminine is the energy that woke up first, because we have the ability and the duty to show the way, to light the path for not only our divine masculine, but also the rest of the collective, the rest of humanity. And to do this alone, in solitude, 9, it's exhausting. It's exhausting at times, it's daunting, and you feel like you're left out in the cold because you have all these beautiful gifts and coins and physical, tangible qualities, time, affection, anything that your divine masculine can want, you have that to offer. But he shunned you. So not only have you taken on the burden of leading the way, of awakening first, you are the one who knows the truth, who knows the reason you're here, who knows the reason this connection is so intense, who understands of what is supposed to transpire. You understand all these things. And there have been times, so many times, you just want to show him, tell him you can't, but you can't force it. You can't force it. You have to pick up your wands and manifest. You have to pick up your wands and manifest the outcome you want. See, this is a lot of wands that are coming through. And that's because we have to carry the torch. We carry the torch on this journey. And that's what people don't understand. They expect this traditional 3D relationship. Well, if he really loved you, why doesn't he make time for you? Why doesn't he talk to you? This and this and this. And at the end of the day, if we weren't forced to take this on ourselves, ascension wouldn't have happened. The growth wouldn't have happened. And so many of us reached our darkest points, either before our awakening, but at many times brought to our knees in agony with the triggering. Not only from our divine masculine, but from others who hold our feet to the fire and say, when are you just going to give up on this? Isn't it about time that you just date? Why don't you just date someone else? He's just not that into you. He's not that into you. How many times have you heard that? But what they don't realize is that a new earth is being birthed, it's being created. And as the divine feminine rises, she rises by leading her own path that completely breaks the norm. She becomes strong, she becomes independent. She may travel around the world alone. She may rather spend time alone. She's balancing career and probably serving a mission. She's doing all the things she's called to do and guided to do, because that's why she's here. She's here to cleanse and purify her body, her soul, her emotions, her spirit, everything from past, from paradigms, from karma, from unhealthy relationships, from toxicity. She's not taking any of that with her. And so those who say she should just give up. She should just give up. Look how close you are to coming out of the water, cleansed and purified. We're breaking through the surface. This 8 of Wands energy is here with the 8-8 Lionsgate portal. It's propelling us. She's almost to the surface. It's almost time, and that's why these dark entities are holding us back. In many cases, they're planting seeds of doubt by bringing another potential soul connection into our lives to place confusion, to place doubt, to place fear, to get us off path. Mental conflict. What happens as a divine feminine when you doubt the connection? When you ghost the connection? When you can't choose between who you want to be with? What's mirrored back to you? And then what happens? It keeps going through this stuck, stagnant cycle where neither counterpart can get out of this energy. Because again, the divine feminine is the creator. She's the creator. And if she lets this energy dominate her space, it's just going to be a stalemate in the connection between the counterparts. And that's what they want. They want us to feel trapped. They want us to feel stuck. The devil, the darkness. They're going to prey on our fears, our doubts, our insecurities, if we let them. But we know our truth. 2 of Cups. Those who are on this path, the true 144,000 light bearers, twin flames, those who try to fight it, those who have tower moments every time they try to get off path and they keep getting drawn to path. It is time to stop fighting your destiny. Stop letting the darkness win. What you're doing and emanating out is mirrored back to you. And so right now, as we're about to get on the precipice of coming out cleansed and purified, that's when they're going to stir up the confusion, the darkness, to try to stop unions from happening. But what I'm hearing is divine is on our side. Once you make the choice to put in the work, Six of Pentacles, to put in the work into your divine connection, into yourself, go within, you will be supported. Once you recognize and stop blaming the masculine and saying that he's failing mission and saying that he's not doing what he needs to be doing, take a look in the mirror and see if you're putting up that same stalemate energy in some level. It's time, Justice. It's time to clear out that karma and become balanced. It's time to make a choice of which path you're going to take. And if you aren't sure, if you're still, because I know I've been there, you try to go one way, you're going to be clearly guided to know that no, that's not the way you need to go. And the other thing is, it's a deep knowing. It's an energetic frequency like no other. And at some point, your intuition just takes over, and you know that darkness is trying to stop the light, to stop these unions. But once you make that decision and communicate it physically set out, you write it down on paper, manifest, make a vision board. If things need to be reset with you and your counterpart, if you're not in communication or if words were exchanged, I'm getting strongly encouraged, the divine feminine, you need to be the one to reset the connection. Apologize. Tell them how you feel. Regardless of what they've done, you're the manifester. So I feel like the divine feminine collective, you need to speak your truth. Reset the connection. And then back away and let them come to you when they're ready as a king. You can't force it. You can't get frustrated when they're not ready. Because if they're not ready, you're not ready. You need to go within. What patterns, what addictions are you still not conquering? What doubts, what fears? You need to really connect to the divine now, connect to source, and set your intentions, manifest. But I think it's very important in the physical, in 3D, for the feminine to reset the connection and then go about doing her own thing. Say your piece, say what you need to say, and then let them come to you when they're ready as a king. And when they're ready, it'll be a teamwork. It'll be a teamwork effort. And I'm also seeing a lot of blue butterflies in these cards. So you may be, in fairies, you may be seeing those. You may be seeing those around as a sign that your union is sacred and it's protected. Do not give in. Do not let the jealousy, the deception, any of those things get you off track. You know your truth. if you're at this stage where this is resonating, if you've been on this journey, if you did not, for years, if you did not seek this out, if it found you, you know your truth. You know your truth, and this is not it. This is not it. Do not listen to the negative words of those who don't understand. They do have, many of these people are your friends, your family. They have your best interest at heart. They just don't understand. They don't understand. It's also a time, I think, where our faith is being tested more than it ever has. To sometimes even signs, I've in my experience, I've come to realize that some of the signs and synchronicities and things that I was getting, some of those I think were placed by dark energy, because it kind of was like, well, because I think, and even two of my own fears, my dark thoughts were feeding those and manifesting them into creation. And so I don't know that I trust some of that as much anymore. But I feel like once I did kind of set this intention, like, no, this is my path, then I really started getting the synchronicities exploding again, very much in a reassuring manner, versus I'm putting out doubts and fears. So I start getting signs for what I want to see to make it the easy solution. There's a big difference. And I think you get to this point where you have your own knowing. You have your own knowing as a divine feminine. And that is what's being tested right now. I think it's to come into complete union with yourself, which is critical before you can manifest something with a counterpart. You have to trust yourself and God. So seeking external sources and even readings from others, you have your own inner knowing. And it's something that's so strong that it should be unshakable. It should be unshakable no matter what even deceptions you may see in the 3D. You just know. You get to a point where you just know. You just know where your Ace of Pentacles is coming. You detach and you're open. You're open to the treasures that you seek when you open this box. You just know it's coming. So you have to get to a point where you're open to it being in any form, but not fighting to make it happen with one way or the other. Or if things are not going or progressing the way you want, just thinking, oh, well, then it's done, because, that's forcing it. I kept hearing today, don't fret, just flow. This is coming. This is what is coming. The Holy Grail. For those of us on this path, this is what's coming. I'm certain of that. Whew. Okay. So I think channeling part is done. I want to pull some cards for the Divine Feminine from the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Veer and Reed about this journey. This is so beautiful. Blessed. 22. Look at this. This is just gorgeous. This is like a purple pink. It's like this etheric divine feminine up in the sky. And to me, this is about manifesting. This is about manifesting. And one way that you can start doing that is just living in a state of gratitude, feeling blessed for everything, feeling joy. And try to look at things, from a detached observer state, not getting caught up in the emotional aspect. And I definitely can say that I've had instances of that in my situation where something happened, I don't remember if it was last week or a couple weeks ago, that normally would have triggered me and brought me to my knees. Some things that happened, and I just was like in this state of joy and like whatever, and just very much in a detached mindset, and realizing that everything was beautiful and not getting triggered and staying in that vibration of joy. It made everything just energetically so good and balanced in my connection, when I could have just been triggered and weird, and therefore gotten that in return. So try to stay in an observer state, and also realize that when these people, these many of, like I said, are well-being, well-intended, look at it from their standpoint. They're looking at it in a 3D perspective. They don't understand all this that's going on up here behind the scenes. You know this. So, I mean, you can gently just cut them. Don't get defensive. Don't get angry. Just, even if you I tried to explain this to a lady the other day, and it was just like talking to a brick wall. And I was just like, I know my truth. It's okay. Thank you for your concern. But just, know that where they're coming from is what I'm getting. Know where they're coming from. Let's see this cosmic. All right, what do we want the Divine Feminines to know about this journey? What message do we have for Divine Feminines? Oh, that is something I heard today. That's crazy. Be still. Be still. Let things come to you. Be in a state of flow. Look how just relaxed and just everything is like, isn't this like magnetism? Like, don't you just like feel drawn to this? Be still and use your intuition. Because you know your truth. And just be cognizant that there's a lot coming up energetically right now that's trying to take us off path. I'm going to see let's do some of the twin flame shadows that might be, yeah. Yeah. Distant and cold. So it's that, feeding on that need, as a woman who, may be a very passionate woman. Many of the Divine Feminines are extremely passionate, and want to have a physical relationship with someone they love, and they're getting frustrated by feeling left out in the cold. And so, putting that out there, that desperation, or need or desire, to have closeness and to have something with someone. I mean, the darkness knows that. And so they're going to send you somebody potentially to try to get you to give in. But many of like, you've been purifying your body for going on 2 years. Many of you, 1.5 years, 2 years, a year. You've been going through things with the collective. And so it's not worth it to go off course, to be drawn off course. It's not worth it. I'd rather end on a higher note than that. So let's see what we've got. I'm being called to pull another from the Wisdom of the Oracle for the Divine Feminine. Whoa. What message do you have for the Divine Feminine? Milk and honey. This is so beautiful. It's like, it's the rainbow. It's like, you can have it all. I mean, I think this is like a little elephant just splashing around, just extremely happy. This is a call to just remember who you are. So here, remember who you are. Remember your divinity. Be still, trust your intuition. Don't try to force things. And again, I'm hearing some of you may need to reset the connection in the 3D with your masculine, but then I think it's pivotal that you be still, you go within, and you stop trying to force things to happen. Let them come to you when they're ready, and it might be a while. When they're a king, they will come to you. So I hope this was helpful, Divine Feminines. I know the energy has been very heavy lately, so I just wanted to get that message out. I felt compelled to do it. I'd be curious in the comments, or if you want to private message me, if anything resonated, if you've been going through some similar issues as well. I'd love to connect and share our experiences. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care.